Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So, my dear friends, you are very welcome in a lecture number one, number system. Okay, so my dear friends, today we are going to start a very amazing and important chapter, which is number system. We are talking about the numbers in the whole chapters. Okay, we are playing with the number. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you will enjoy this lecture. So without wasting the time, let's start. Yes, so my dear friends, first of all we are going to see introduction to number system. Okay, so first of all we are going to see what is number system, what are the categories, what are the classification of number system. So in this lecture we are going to discuss a lot of things related to the number system. Okay, yes, so my dear friends, you have to be listen very carefully. Okay, I hope you will enjoy this lecture. Yes, so my dear friends, a number system is defined as a number system is defined as like a number system is defined as a system of writing to express numbers, as a system of writing to express numbers. Okay, as a system of writing to express a number. Simple. Means we can say that it is a system in which we are expressing a number. Okay, it may be 1 2 3 4 5 -1 -2 -3 -5. All the numbers which you are seeing in your around, all the numbers are what comes in the number system. Okay, so my dear friends, number system is very important to the daily life. Okay, because whenever you are counting something, that the numbers will help to count something. Okay, so my dear friends, number system is very important in our daily life, in our daily routines. Okay, without number system we cannot do anything, I hope my dear friend you understand these things, what is number system. Okay, so my dear friends, it is a mathematical notation for representing numbers for a given set by using digits or other symbols in a consistent manner. Okay, and it provide a unique representation of every numbers and represent the arithmetic and algebraic structure of the figures. Okay, yes. So my dear friend, let's suppose we are taking an example like -1 1 2 0 3, any of the number. Okay, it may be fraction, it may be integers, it may be decimal number. Okay, 0.5, like this is a decimal number. So all these numbers are comes in number system, all the numbers are comes in the number system. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. Yes, so my dear friend, let's see the classification of number system. So basically, my dear friends, whole number system are classified into just two categories. Just two categories. What are these? Let's see. So my dear friends, first is real number. First is what? Real number. And second is imaginary number. Second is what? Imaginary number. So my dear friends, in this chapter we are just talking about the real numbers. Okay, imaginary numbers is not in the syllabus. Okay, this is coming in the higher classes. Okay, so now my dear friends, what is real number? So basically my dear friends, real number is what? Those number which are real, all the number you see in your around. Okay, so these number are what? Real numbers, like 1 2 3 4 5 6. All these numbers which are helping in the counting are the number real numbers. Okay, what is imaginary number? Imaginary numbers are imaginary. Imaginary numbers are imaginary. These are not used in our daily life. Okay, so these numbers we are not discussing about these. So we are just talking about real numbers. Okay, so what is real numbers? See the Okay, my dear friend. So, what is real number? So, my dear friends, any number which can be represented on the number line is a real number. Any number which can be represented on the number line, it is what? It is the real number. For example, if you talk about this, for example, like minus 15, 3, 14, 3.5, okay, 2.5. So all these numbers we can represent on the number line. So this is what? Real number. So yes, so my dear friend, this is the classification of real number. This is the Venn diagram of real numbers. With the help of this, you can easily understand the real numbers. You can easily understand what is real numbers. Okay, so my dear friends, as I said that real numbers are of two types. Means first main type is rational number. First is rational number and second is irrational number. Second is irrational numbers. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So rational numbers are maybe negative, maybe positive, integer, maybe decimal, maybe fractions like this. And irrational numbers are like pi, the value of pi, okay, under root 2, under root 3, under root 10, okay. So we will see in detail what is rational and irrational number, okay. Yes, now the subset of rational numbers are what? Yeah, subset of rational numbers are integers, okay. Subset of integers are whole numbers. Subset of whole numbers are what? Natural number. Okay, so my dear friend, there are a lot of branches of the individually, okay, individually also. Let's see that. So now my dear friends, you can see the real numbers chart. Okay, yes, so now we know that real numbers are of two types, rational numbers and irrational numbers. Okay, now rational numbers are also divided into two parts, which is integers and non-integers. Integers and non-integers. In non-integers there are fractions, decimals, like this. Okay, now integers are also divided of two types, negative numbers and whole numbers. Whole numbers are also divided into two parts, okay, which is 0 and natural numbers. Which is what? 0 and natural number. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So here is negative numbers and here is positive numbers. So negative integers and positive integers. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So now let's see step by step all these numbers, okay. Yeah, so my dear friend, first of all we are coming on the natural number. What is natural number? As we all know my dear friends, what is natural number? Those numbers which are starting from 1 to infinity. It is a set of a number. It is a set of a number which is starting from 1 to infinity, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So this is what? This is the natural number. Now my dear friend, if you talk about the whole numbers, what is whole number? Okay, so now whole numbers are starting from 0 to infinity, means like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. This is what? This is the whole numbers. Okay, so my dear friend, if you see this, here is, so whole number is starting from 0 and after that, after 0, all these numbers are what? All these numbers are natural number. Natural number. So my dear friends, from this diagram we can say that all the natural numbers are whole numbers, but all whole numbers are not natural numbers. All whole numbers are not natural number because 0 is not a natural number. 0 is a whole number. But all the natural numbers are what? All the natural numbers are whole number. But all whole numbers are not natural numbers. I hope, my dear friend, you understand these things. Okay, so now let's see the representation of natural numbers and whole numbers on the number line. Okay, so my dear friend, let's suppose we are having a number line. This is what? This is the number line. Now in number line, whole number is starting from 0. So all the numbers after the 0 and including the 0, all the numbers are what? Yes, whole numbers. Okay, and natural numbers are starting from 1 to the infinity. Okay, so all the numbers from 1 to infinity are what? Are natural numbers. Are what? Yes, are natural numbers. So this is the representation of the natural numbers and whole numbers on the number line. So I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, now let's come on the integers. What is integers? So my dear friends, what is integers? Integers are the set of whole numbers. But my dear friend, in this, a negative set of natural numbers is included. Okay, negative set means negative numbers. Okay, so let's suppose, my dear friends, we have a number line like this. Let's suppose this is a number line. Okay, and this is 0, and in the RHS side this is positive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and here is -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So now, my dear friends, from 0 to the infinity, this is what? These are whole numbers. These are whole numbers. And and in the LHS side, all the numbers are what? These are negative integers. These are negative numbers. We can say it is what? We can say it is negative integers, and here is positive integers. Positive integers, we can say it called as negative integers. So mainly it is of two types, negative integers and positive integers. Okay, and in positive integers 0 is included. Okay, so 0 is the, this is 0 integer, this is 0 integer. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So this is the classification of integers. Okay, so my dear friends, all the numbers which are in the form of whole numbers means it is of the round figure, not the fraction part, not decimal part. Okay, so excluding fraction and decimal parts, all the numbers which are represent on the number line, it may be positive and it may be negative, but it should be in the whole figure. It should be in the whole figure. Okay, I hope you understand these things. So these numbers are what? These numbers are integers. Okay, and it can be represented as, it can be represented as Z. This is the representation of integers. Okay, Z represents the integers. I hope, my dear friend, you understand these things, what is integers. So my dear friends, I hope you have no confusion about the integer. So now, my dear friend, let's see the another part, which is fractions. Okay, so now what is fractions? So my dear friends, in mathematics, fractions are defined as the parts of a whole. Parts of a whole. The whole can be an object or a group of objects. Okay, so my dear friends, let's suppose we are writing like this: 1 upon 2. It is what? 1 upon 2 means 1 part out of 2. Let's suppose we have a circle like this, okay, and it is divided into 2 parts, and 1 part is shaded parts. So we can say that what is the fraction of shaded part? So we can say 1 upon 2 means 1 part out of 2 parts. 1 part out of 2. Okay, I hope you get this point. So this is the meaning of the fractions. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So a fraction is a word that is originated from Latin, means in Latin fractus means broken, means broken. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So a fraction is also termed as a portion or fraction of any quantity, portion or fraction of any quantity, and it is denoted by a symbol like this. It is denoted by using this symbol, like for example a upon b, okay, or we can write it as a upon b, okay, 2 upon 4. So this is the examples, okay, means the upper part, the upper part represent the numerator, what, numerator, and the lower part denominator. Okay my dear friends, I hope you're getting this point. So now my dear friend, let's see the classification of fractions. Okay, so now most important thing is that fractions are divided into several parts. First is proper fraction. First is proper fraction. Now my dear friends, what is proper fraction? So in the proper fraction, when numerator is less than the denominator, simple thing is that when numerator is less than the denominator, like this, 2 upon 7. In this case, numerator is less than the denominator. Okay, so we know that 2 is always less than 7. So we can say that this is what? This is the proper fraction. This is what? This is the proper fraction. Okay, now if we talk about the second part, this is improper fraction. Improper fraction. Now what is improper fraction? So my dear friends, in this case, if numerator is greater than denominator, okay, is greater than denominator, then we can say that these numbers are what? Yeah, these type of fractions are improper fraction. So let's see, for example, now 7 upon 2 is what? Is the improper fraction. In this, 7 is always greater than 2. So this is what? This is the improper fraction. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. What is fractions? Okay, now one more thing is that mixed fraction. Now what is mixed fraction? Let's see that. So third part is mixed fraction. So mixed fraction are of the mixed type, means in this it is consist of integral as well as the fractional part. That is, if we write 5 2 upon 9, 5 2 upon 9 means it is consist of integral part. So this is 5 is what? 5 is our integral part, okay, and this term is our what? This term is our fraction part. fractional part. So the combination of integral part and the fractional part is what? Mixed fraction. Okay, we can see a lot of examples like 4 2 upon 5, 3 2 upon 4. Okay, and we can solve again into the simple fraction. Like if we are solving this, this will be equals to, how we can solve it? So my dear friends, we have to multiply 4, means we have to multiply the denominator and the integral part, means 4 into 3 what? 12. And after that we have to add with the numerator part, so we get 12 plus 2 divided by 4, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 14 upon 4. So like this we can convert all the mixed fraction into simple fraction. Okay, I hope you get this point. Or we can convert all the simple fraction into mixed fraction. How we can convert it? Let's see that. So my dear friends, let's suppose we have to convert 14 upon 4 into the mixed fraction. How we can convert it? So we have to divide like this, 14 divided by 4. Okay, so how we can divide it? So my dear friends, 14 3 is 12 and the remainder is 2. Okay, so for writing this part into the mixed fraction, we have to choose the path like this. Okay, like this. So this is 3, so we have to write 3 as it, and the remainder we have to write in the numerator part. Okay my dear friend, and this part 4 we have to write in the denominator. So this is what? This is the mixed form. Okay, so we can convert mixed form into the simple fraction, or we can convert the simple fraction into the mixed fraction. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things, how we can convert the mixed fraction into the simple fraction, or how we can convert it simple fraction to the mixed fraction. So this is very easy method my dear friends. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you understand the fraction, what is fraction. Okay, so now let's move on. So now my dear friends, let's see the another number which are prime numbers. So now what are prime numbers? Okay, so all the natural numbers that have 1 and itself only as their one factors, means those numbers which can be divided by only and only itself and 1. Okay, those numbers which can be divided by itself, or which can be divided by only just 1. So that type of numbers are called prime numbers. Okay, means prime numbers are exactly divisible by 1 and themselves. For example, let's see the examples. If we say that 2 is what? 2 is the prime number, because 2 cannot be divided by any of the number except 2 and 1. Okay, next prime number is 3. 3 is same, 3 cannot be divided by any of the number except itself and 1. Okay, and the next prime number is 5. Next is 7. Okay, and next is 11, 13. Okay, 17, 19, 23, and etc. There are a lot of prime numbers. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you understand the concept of prime numbers. Prime numbers are those numbers which cannot be divided by any of the numbers except itself and 1. Okay, I hope you get this point. What is prime numbers? Yes. Now in this, 2 is the least prime number. 2 is the least prime number. Okay, yes. So now let's come on the co-prime number. So what is co-prime number? So my dear friends, if the HCF of the given numbers is 1, let's suppose we have two numbers A and B, and the HCF of A and B is 1, then we can say that A and B are what? Co-prime number. A and B are what? co-prime number. Means except one, there should not be any of the factors. Okay, so let's take an example like this. So now 5 and 6, so the HCF of 5 and 6 is what? 1. So my dear friends, we can say that 5 and 6 are what? They are co-prime number. They are what? Co-prime number. Okay, so now my dear friends, we can say that all the consecutive numbers are the co-prime numbers. All the consecutive numbers are what? Consecutive numbers are those numbers which are the addition of 1 in the previous number. Like 5 and 6 are these co-prime number. 6 is what? Addition. When we add 1 in the 5, this is we get 6, which is the consecutive. Okay, and 7, 8 or 9, 10, like these numbers are what? These numbers are co-prime numbers. Let's take the other examples like 3 and 5. So we can say that the HCF of 3 and 5 is always 1. So my dear friends, again we can say that the pair of prime numbers, the pair of two prime numbers, okay, are always co-prime numbers because there is no factor other than 1. I hope my dear friend you understand these things. Okay, so now my dear friend, let's see a note which is very important. So now my dear friends, we can say that 1 is neither prime nor composite number. So what is composite number? We will see in the next part. Means we can say that 1 is neither prime nor composite. Okay, next is 2 is the only prime number which is even. 2 is the only prime number which is even. 2 is the only prime number which is even. If we see this, here is 2 is what? 2 is even number, we know that. Even number are what? Even numbers are the multiples of 2. Okay, now after the 2, all these numbers are odd numbers. All these numbers are odd numbers. Odd numbers are those numbers which are not multiple of 2. Okay, I hope you get this point. So 2 is the one number which is prime number. 2 is the only number which is even. 2 is the only prime number which is even. Okay, I hope you get this point. And third is, we can say that any two consecutive number will always be co-prime. Okay, will always be co-prime. Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, now what is composite number? Okay, so my dear friends, all the natural numbers that have more than two different factors are called composite numbers. Are called what? Are called composite numbers. Okay, if we see the example like this, let's suppose we have a 4. 4 is the combination of 2 into 2. Okay, if we take 6, so this is the combination of 2 into 3 or 3 into 2. So we can say that composite number are those numbers which are made by the composition of 2 or more than 2 numbers. Composition of 2 or more than two numbers. Okay, I hope you get this point. So it is represented by capital C. It is represented by what? Capital C. Okay, now my dear friends, let's move on. Yes, now we comes on the imaginary numbers. What are imaginary numbers? So my dear friends, imaginary numbers are those numbers in which all the numbers are imaginary numbers which having the negative square roots. Means if we have a negative number, let's suppose minus of, and if we do the under root, so this is what? This is imaginary numbers. Okay, so my dear friends, square root of any of the negative numbers is called imaginary numbers. Is called what? Imaginary number. Let's suppose minus 1. This is what? Imaginary number. Imaginary number. Understand, my dear friends, what is imaginary number? So the imaginary numbers are those numbers in which under root of or square root of negative numbers is the imaginary numbers. Is what? Is the imaginary numbers. Okay, now if we talk about the complex number, what is complex number? So my dear friends, it is the combination of real numbers and imaginary numbers. It is the combination of real numbers and imaginary numbers is called complex numbers. Okay, so we can say that complex number is equals to real number plus imaginary number. Okay, let's suppose a plus iota b. A plus iota b. Now my dear friends, this iota is the under root of minus 1. Iota is what? Under root of minus 1. Means we can say that this is the real part and this is imaginary part. This is imaginary part. Okay, so complex number is the combination of real numbers plus imaginary numbers. Real numbers plus imaginary numbers. Okay, I hope my dear friend you understand these things. What is complex numbers? Okay, yes, so my dear friend, let's move on. Yes, so most important part is rational numbers. What is rational numbers? Most important and interesting part is rational numbers. So my dear friends, we know that a number is called a rational number if it can be written in the form of P upon Q. If it can be written in the form of P upon Q. P upon Q. Now here is P and Q is what? P and Q are the integers. Are integers. And most important condition is that Q should not equal to 0. Q is not equals to 0. Okay. So my dear friends, rational numbers are those numbers which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q. Which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q. For example, my dear friends, 3 upon 5. Yes, 3 upon 5 is the rational number. 7 upon 2. Yes, 7 upon 2 is the rational numbers. And 11 upon 13. And so on. Okay. So, those numbers which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q are called rational numbers. Okay, so my dear friends, you understand the rational number. So my dear friends, rational number is a type of real numbers. Okay, which is the form of P upon Q. And here Q, P and Q are the integers and Q is not equals to 0. Now my dear friend, if we see more examples like, now here is 0 upon 1 Can we say that it is a rational? Yes. 0 upon 1 is what? 0 upon 1 is, we can say it is rational number. And similarly 0 upon 2 we can also say it. Yes. Okay, and etc. Now if you write 1 upon 0, here is 0 is what? 0 is q, and we know that q is not equals to 0. Then this is not a rational number. It is not a rational number. Similarly 2 upon 0, again this is not a rational number. Okay, I hope you understand these things. Yes. So now my dear friends, so the next is irrational numbers. So what is irrational number? So any number that cannot be expressed in the form of p upon q. Any numbers that cannot be expressed in the form of p upon q. So that type of number are irrational number. Here is also p and q are what? P and q are integer. P and q are integer. Okay, I hope you get this point. So any number that cannot be expressed in the form of p upon q. Okay, and here is also q is not equals to 0 in an irrational number also. Okay, so my dear friends, if we take the example like this, under root 2, which is irrational, and 1.01002.563 and so on. So my dear friends, these type of number are also called irrational number, means there is no terminating and not repeating. Okay, these numbers are not terminating and not repeating. Okay, and we can say that the under root or square root of prime numbers is always irrational number. 2 is prime number, so the under root or square root of prime numbers is always irrational numbers. Is always what? Irrational numbers. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Okay, so now this is enough for today, and we will meet in the next lecture with the next amazing topic. Okay, so thank you very much guys for listening me, and take care and goodbye.